Hey everyone, how are you? I want to talk to you about what trumps everything else in running. I just got done. It's actually like 70 something degrees out today in Buffalo. But I want to share with you something that I talked about with a runner this week. I actually, like always, is a conversation I have all the time. Really excited because this, if you can buy into this, like your running just changes. I want to show you what happens when you do what I'm about to talk about in a second. But before I tell you this, if you're interested in what I'm about to tell you, you want some help with this, we actually just launched our Run Smart app. So if you're using that, let me know in the comments. We have some really great feedback, and what I want to talk about today more than anything is strength training and why it trumps everything else. Because I just had a runner come in, and they were like, okay, what should I do with my run form? Here's my training plan. This is what I'm doing with my diet. Here's my run form. And in some instance, someone has some kind of aspect of that when they talk to me. They're like, okay, well, you want me to do these exercises. What should I do with my run form? Should I be changing this? Should I do this? And this is what I usually tell them, because when you do this, when you work on this stuff, it just works and it trumps everything else. So let me show you what happens when you work on this stuff real quick. So this is April. So she was working on this, some of our strength workouts. Difference, she did this for 2 months, and if you're not going to be committed for at least 2 months, it's not going to work. But she did our basically basics boot camp. Look at these paces that she changed. So this is a post from our members group. So she had in October 2019 an 8:46 miles, same exact run down to 7:58 2 months later. And what I'm talking about is strength training. So like, it doesn't matter how good your run form is, because if your run form is like solid, right? Like let's say your run form, see if I can set this up. If your run form is amazing and you have like the perfect run form, but you don't have any strength to support it, it doesn't matter. This is what I told the runner who was asking me about, well, like, how should I tweak my foot strike? I'm like, it doesn't matter. Your hips and core are so weak that, great, you could run for a good run form for a little bit, but you're not going to sustain it because you don't have the strength to support it. And then I'll have runners come in and they're like, well, I'm using this training method, I'm using this kind of training, or the walk run, or all this stuff. I'm like, that's great. The training plan matters. Your run form does matter, but none of it means anything without good strength training. And too often I have people who either are just skipping it, or they're just like doing stuff like, yeah, I do some leg lifts here, I do some stuff here, and they're not getting on the right ball with it. And let's face it, like, this is what I'm seeing with most of my runners right now, is like, okay, now COVID is kind of not settling down and it's still a huge issue, but we're starting to look toward the fall and the summer. And I'm going to talk about big training issues that people are having, and probably tomorrow at some point, but we're all looking to the fall and the summer now. We're like, okay, we want to be ready for that. And if you're not committed to building some strength right now, I'm not talking like being like a muscle head carrying around a bottle, a jug, the jugs of water, and eating creatine and boiled chicken. I'm talking about just having some strength to function and be able to sustain yourself while running. If you're not going to be committed to doing some of that, you're going to be in trouble. So if you're an injury-prone runner, and you're not doing strength training, you're just going to be an injury-prone runner. You have to. We all have some tolerance to injuries. Like some people, they can just beat the hell out of themselves and they never seem to get hurt. We all know those jerks, right? But then there's people who are on the other end of the spectrum that are pieces of glass, and then they get hurt if the wind blows too much. And then we have people in between. And whether you're someone who's consistently hurt or someone in between where you're like, yeah, constantly dealing with this knee thing or something else, like, you need to be working on strength training, targeting the glutes, targeting the core, and building that up. Because here's the thing, when the weather gets like what I just showed you, 70 degrees, sunny, or it's warm for you. I'm in Buffalo, New York, so it's just turning into great running weather. Like, you're gonna wanna be outside, and if you can at least build some strength reserves at this point, you're gonna be really good. So focus on your core, focus on your glutes, and run form doesn't matter if you're weak. Your training plan doesn't matter if you're weak. You will get hurt. So I want you guys to be focused on building some good glute and core strength. If you want some help with it, if you missed the beginning part of this, we launched. I'm hungry. We launched the Run Smart app this past week. It's going fantastic. And to celebrate, we not only did donate $5,000 to charity, but we also are bringing down our yearly membership cost to $99 a year. So go to the link in this post, check it out if you want some help with your strength training, your training plans, and check out the new app. And I'll be live pretty much all week talking about how do we get ready for the summer. So stay tuned, and I hope to see you inside the Run Smart app. All right, bye everyone.